camping on the page. Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream. Make sure to hit that follow button and subscribe if you're on YouTube. That would be awesome. Today we are making this commission for a friend who goes by Arrowwolf online. I forgot to grab my reference photo, so I guess I'll just do that right now. But yeah, this was a yick. I call it a yick. It's YCH, which stands for your character here. So originally it was just this pose, and they purchased it. Wolf purchased it so that I would draw their character in this pose. And I really like this character, very awesome. I'm just gonna pull up the reference, because of course we need that. Put it over here on this new file. Oh, Photoshop's doing a thing. Alright, Photoshop. Okay, here we go. Oof. Dun, dun, dun. How's everybody doing? Hanging out? Having a good time? Just chilling on this Tuesday night. I just ate yummy chicken and potatoes. Although I think I'm going to be vegetarian soon. I'm starting to feel that. What did I put? Okay, this is the... Cool. Today, you get to watch me do line art. If I can find my brush. What's it called? Outline pen. I've been trying to shiny hunt on Pokemon Violet for a Spiritomb. I'm still doing the Masuda method because I just think that getting a level 1 will be way easier to start with if the person who's receiving said shiny Spiritomb wants to start a whole new game. I feel like level 1, when it actually listens to you, would be way more enjoyable. So I'm gonna try to hatch 3 of the, well, not 3 Spiritombs, a Riolu, Spiritomb, and a Gligar. And I've never used the Masuda method before, and I'm at like 108 eggs now, I think, for the Spiritomb. I have Shiny Charm, so basically, oh yeah, and then the Japanese Ditto, so basically my chances are maxed out. So it's just the waiting game. I kind of just, I let the eggs come into existence as I'm applying to jobs and stuff, so that I don't have to just sit there for like 3 hours doing nothing as the eggs go into the basket. And it's good so far. I've been kind of like, I don't know. I think I'll learn to like the method a little bit more. So far I've been like, okay, hatching another egg, hatching another egg. It's kind of like, holy moly! Hello Minty system, all of you. Welcome! Thank you, I do have a nice gender. It's nice to see you here, actually. As I was saying about the eggs, it's sort of like when you open um like a prize when you're opening Pokemon card packs. That's what doing the Masuda method is like. You're like, okay, am I gonna get a special card this time? And you pull a few, and you get a few just regular cards, and then eventually you hit gold. That's what happened. I don't usually open Pokemon cards, but I did get a pack because I was gonna do commissions with them and like sell them alongside art. And then I just collect some of the other ones because I like how they look. And I got a card from my favorite Pokemon designer, James Turner, which was freaking awesome. I think it's a Dusk... what the heck is the middle one? It's not a Duskull, it's not a Dusk Noir. Dusclops. I got a Dusclops. Oh, no worries. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I love that little emoji. It's like little paws holding a heart. That's so wholesome. Thanks for joining even though it's so late for you guys. 2:40 a.m. Wow. I live here in Canada, so it's almost 8 o'clock now, I guess. It's like 7:40. Oh, of course, you're welcome. I had a lot of fun with that one, and I'm excited to start the next one. I kind of went a little bit over, as you know, from my last stream, everybody who was here last time. Sometimes I like to go a little bit over, so I kind of shaded it a little bit, you know, just having fun with it. I really enjoyed the character, so thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. I'm still practicing chibi styles. But you know, I'm happy with how it is right now. I think this nose is off. I like perspective. I think I'm one of the only artists in the entire world that likes perspective. I like thinking of the character in a 3D space. Once I took I don't know if it's college, I don't know, post-secondary. Night! Much love to you guys too! Have a good sleep! I went to school for concept art post-secondary, and we learned a lot about you too! Thanks for popping in. We learned so much about perspective. And so, you know, when you learn it enough, your brain just kind of clicks into... Oh, sorry, 1 second. Alright, I'm back. But they teach you in concept art school, at least school I went to, it's sort of like, it's a digital art school, so it's like, 2D animation, concept art, 3D modeling, 3D animation, stuff like that. They teach you how to imagine, how to, like, I don't know, get your brain to click into that it's a 3D space. Because, you know, when you start out and you're drawing, you usually imagine things in 2D, because you are drawing 2D, technically. This is flat on paper. But you have to sort of imagine, almost as if you're taking a picture, or... I don't really know how to explain it. It's sort of like you're taking a picture of the character, like they're really there and you have to just sort of paint them in. I sort of see this background space as like a room. So it'd be like the characters in the front. The background is the back. You know how it is. Which I didn't even realize was a thing until I went to school. I was just thinking of stuff flat, and I didn't even realize. But it helps when... I don't know, they taught us to imagine it as if everything's a shape, or a square, like a cube, or, you know, the stuff that you used to draw in math class. I find it easier to just be like, this is a character, and the character is sitting in a room, and yes, technically this character is made up out of boxes. If I was to take my red pen, and I went here, the perspective of this would be sort of like that, if it was a box. And you would... doesn't go all the way, but you know, the head would be a sphere. The ears would be a rectangle. I don't know. I find it's a little bit overcomplicating things for my own learning style anyways, when I have to think that everything's a different shape. Just say, okay, this is a creature, and it's in this space. I don't know. I guess everyone learns differently, for real. I'm just not gonna worry about being sketchy with my lines. I've been a lot looser with my lines lately. I prefer it, actually. I prefer just being relaxed, drawing the lines. If you think about it, like this part is pretty sketchy, but if you like go back and look at the actual art as a whole, you don't see it. Plus, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of perfect line art. I feel like it's I don't know, art doesn't need to be that perfect. Unless you want it to be, I guess. It's made by your hand, not a machine. Just don't overcomplicate things. If you want perfect line art and that makes you happy, you do that because that's your art style. But if you're doing perfect line art because you think that's how it's supposed to be, or you think it looks, you know, people think that you're not doing it right, just, I don't know, listen to your heart, what you want. I mean, if you look at any painting at all, really close, the paint strokes are all over the place. But when you go back out, it's the bigger picture. And, you know, digital artists kind of could get stuck in the thought that everything has to be perfect because you're so up close. But if you really take a step back and look at everything, it's just like the painting. Also, I got a new game. Thank you, Bestie MK. I'm so excited to start this game. It's called... oh my gosh. I was a teenage exocolonist, I think. By... oh, now I forget who made it. I don't know. I did some research though, so I know who made it. I just forget what they're called now. I watched them play it, my friend, and basically if you have a game where there's a long-haired man or a science lady or both, which this game has both, I just have to play the game. It's just a rule. So really, I don't know who I'm gonna marry first because there's both, so I don't know. We'll just have to figure that out. Creature design is one of my biggest passions in terms of concept art. Freaking love drawing creatures. I love making creatures that, like, you look at it and you're like, where's its face? Where, like, it's so creaturey that you can't really register it as like an earth being. At least not on this plane. And that's sort of the vibe that I get from this game with some of the creature designs. They're aliens, so they're gonna look a little alien. And so far, did an amazing job. Hello, moderator. We have one moderator in chat. I finally hired my first moderator. I like to do the thinner lines over here and thicker lines around the eyes. And when I finish it all up, I do like a thicker at the bottom, you know, line weight thing. I like this dude's little like beard he got going on. Mother Raider, yeah. My mom is a moderator. Mother moderator. You could make a good pun out of that, exactly. Ooh, that looks good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do some more sketchy lines now. I like loose. Sometimes I make pieces without even zooming in. Do that and this. Let's go. Check in the people in chat right now. I see you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I like that. There we go. I also like making my lines colored. I think I talked about this last time, but thank you. I will have fun. I like coloring my lines because I saw that people did, like, the people who do lineless art, you know, they color their lines, so it's like if this part was purple, like if the hair was purple, you make this lines for the hair darker purple or whatever. I decided I didn't want to do that for every individual color, so I just made everything purple. But I like how it looks at the end. It sort of makes the lines disappear. Sort of more realistic. There we go. No random texture lines. Well, they're not really random. I say that they're random, but just because I don't think about it. But I've been doing this for so long that they're not random. I just do it without thinking. Down here. I rarely, well, okay, I never use a stabilizer, but Photoshop does have a stabilizer. For big swoops like this, when I need to have I don't really like how that looks though. Maybe if I just do it like that. Okay, we'll come back to that. It's also another thing you have to do while drawing. Something is not working, just go to a different part of the art where it is working. You'll figure it out by the end. And if you don't, breaks are always good. It's always a good thing to take breaks. I usually only draw for a couple hours at a time. When I'm streaming, it's only 1 hour-ish, sometimes an hour and a half. Gotta give yourself some time. You gotta bring the dude in slowly. Bring the character in slowly. So, that's why I usually do it in steps. Do the sketch, and I do the lines. Sometimes I take a couple days on the lines. This one might take a couple days. Usually I just stop when I feel tired, and a lot of the time I finish the face like this, or I do a little bit over here, or whatever. And then I get so tired that I just have to do the rest the next day. So sometimes line art does take me a couple days. Another good thing to remember is that art is always made at your own pace, and that you're never rushed. Just, if you're doing commissions, I do commissions all the time. If you're doing commissions, just be honest with the commissioner. Every single time I've asked for extra time with the commission, or been like, oh, I have to take a break, or like, I just can't do it today, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it. If I didn't feel like doing it, I communicate with the commissioner, and they've always been fine. People don't want you to burn out. I think a lot of people are worried about delivering on their promise, especially when the client is already paid. And really, a client usually doesn't care how long you take, as long as you're communicating. Obviously, like, a year is too much. Maybe 3 months is too much. But that's a long time. And even if you're communicating the whole time, people can still be okay with it. I mean, I wouldn't take a year, unless it's like freaking a fursuit. Fursuits would take a little longer than a year, though. But, you know, if it's a humongous piece of art, they're gonna understand that it's a humongous piece of art, and they're gonna give you some time. I haven't had anybody ever think that I was scamming them for taking more time, or, you know, just getting mad in general. Nobody's ever done that. They understand. Most people who commission art are artists, and if they're not, they're art fans. You know, they understand how this stuff works. And a good way to get good clients like that is to price yourself fairly. I have my prices, they're not on the cheaper side. They're just, it's like, what, $28 for something like this, which is going to be fully shaded. I have prices for people that have their own income, or yeah, that's really what I would call it. I have prices for people who have their own income that's disposable. They can, you know, it's not like it's not like I'm working with kids half the time. And it's not bad to work with kids either. It's just, you get a lot more understanding clients when you kind of put yourself in that, I don't know, what the heck is the word for it? Demographic? You know, I've never had any problems with any of that. Everybody's always been so nice. And I think as long as you don't worry about it, everybody's gonna be nice. And if they're not nice and you don't want to work with them, either refund them or finish the art and then never talk to them again. If you really want to deliver on your promise, you can do that. I've had to do refunds, not because the person stunk or anything, but people are also okay with refunds. They're not gonna get mad at you for refunding them. Oh my gosh, one time I went to refund someone because I made them a badge and it like got crumpled in my laminator, and it took Kofi like a month to refund them, so they were like kind of like worried that I wasn't gonna send them anything and just take their money. But you know what? I just communicated the whole time. Communication. They actually did receive their badge, and it wasn't too crumpled. I managed to like flatten it out. So they basically got a free badge that was just slightly crumpled, so you know, just communicate and anything can be solved. It's kind of silly. My laminator's done that a few times. I think when you... I don't think it's that my laminator is bad or anything, it's just when it... when you heat it up too much and the paper is really thin, it tends to like start to scrunch it up. I don't know what the word would be. Scrunch it up. You know, it makes it crumply. You can get around this if you ever find yourself in this situation. If you notice that it's starting to do the crunchy thing and it like if it's not coming out properly, it's starting to jam. If you... Maybe you I'm gonna say it anyway. Maybe you shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You hold the art that you can grab and you just pull it through really gently. Like, don't force the laminator too much because it might break it or something. But just kind of pull it gently so that it kind of flattens itself out. And then you have to leave it to cool. And 99.9% of the time you can save an entire art piece by doing that. Because, you know, as long as you're watching, it'll be fine. I haven't used my laminator in a little while now, because I haven't really been doing traditional. And last time I did traditional, I had to go to Staples because the badge was so big. It was like a double character badge. So it was like 2 badges in one, basically. Which is perfect for a fursuit badge, actually. If you're gonna wear this on your fursuit. So I'm trying to find a pic of it because it's really cool. If I have it. Why is it not here? So sad. I'll find it. There it is. I just didn't put it in my commissions folder. Yeah! Move that to the album. This... Oh my gosh. Well, I could full screen it. It was this. It was freaking huge. You see that this little binder thing... I wonder if I can show... Here we go. This binder thing behind it is like the size of a printer paper, pretty much. Usually badges are just the size of one of these guys. But they ask for a double badge of both of their characters. And I was like, heck yeah, I want to try that. I've never done that before. That was in 2024, last year. I was like, I never did that before. Yeah, let's do it. It was so freaking fun. It took me a while. Again, another thing, communicate. Communicate always. And, you can't really see the detail, but it's pencil crayon. I think it's just pencil crayon. I think I only use pencil crayon, but then for the white, I used gel pen, and for the line art, I used Micron. I think they're Micron pens, but they're like that kind of pen. If it's not that brand, it's the same thing. These weapons, I see how they like kind of go over each other. I drew the weapons separate and the names separate and the headshots separate on different pieces of paper. I colored them The weapons are 2 parts too. You can kind of see how this lays over top of this part. This is one piece, this big stick. That's one piece that I had to color cut out and tape to this part, which is the same thing. This handle was also, I had to tape it behind the sword. So it was kind of like a puzzle to put back together. I put the name behind this guy because it was just his head. So I put the name behind him, and then I put this over, and then I kind of hooked this part on that, and this name went over, I think it went over both. It goes over the guy too. It is quite the thing. It got lost in the mail, and I was like, no! But it came back. Which is good. It came back. Always double check your addresses because, well, I don't even know if it was really my fault, because when I went to deliver it, I had the address there and the person just inputted it wrong, which is fine. It's just a mistake that happens. Although maybe I should have double checked to say something. So always double check to make sure it's going to the right place. Luckily though, my address was correct, so it just came back to me and I was able to mail it out again. Really, I'm really proud of this, honestly. It's very awesome. And the person who commissioned it was like one of the leaders of the furry nexus on Discord. Like a big dude, so I was like, oh, I hope that I don't lose it. Although, he was really nice to work with, and no problems happened, so. I would love to do another piece for him again, but we'll see in the future.